So, what exactly is a product increment? Simply put, it's the working version of the product that the team delivers at the end of each sprint. Each sprint results in a product increment, which includes all the completed features, fixes, and updates. Everything that has met the definition of done and is shippable or ready for feedback. For example, in an e-commerce app, after one sprint, you might have a working login screen. After the next sprint, you could add a shopping cart. Together, these become the product increment. Remember, it's the sum of the all completed work, so you're always building on top of what you completed in previous sprints. To understand the product increment, we need to talk about the definition of done, DoD. The DoD is a shared understanding within the team of what done means. It's a checklist of criteria that must be met for a product increment to be considered complete, like code quality. The code must be clean, maintainable, and error-free. Testing. It's thoroughly tested and passes unit and integration tests. Documentation. Any required documentation must be updated. Deployable. The increment should be ready to go live or be tested by users. Without a clear DoD, your team might deliver incomplete or buggy increments. It's critical for quality and consistency. This is a draft definition of done. You should tailor it to fit the specific needs and standards of your organization. Let's look at some key characteristics of the product increment to understand its role better. Incremental delivery. Every increment adds value to the product. Each sprint builds upon the last, ensuring that progress is made. Transparency. The product increment must be visible and accessible to stakeholders. This keeps everyone aligned and ensures that the product's progress is clear. Usability. A product increment must be usable. It's not just about adding features, it's about delivering working, valuable functionality to end users. These characteristics make the product increment the cornerstone of Scrum, as it represents continuous delivery of value. Now let's clarify the difference between a product increment and an MVP. This is an important distinction to understand. Product increment. A product increment is the result of a sprint, the completed work that adds functionality to the product. It's fully functional, tested, and ready for release. Each increment builds on the previous one, resulting in an evolving product. MVP, minimum viable product. An MVP is the simplest version of a product that has just enough functionality to test assumptions with real users. It's not fully featured. Its purpose is to get feedback and validate the product idea before more investment. Key difference: product increment, the evolution of a product in small steps. MVP, a basic version of a product to test core assumptions with users. Remember, the product increment happens at the end of every sprint, whereas an MVP is a strategy used early on to validate ideas. Scrum is all about inspect and adapt, and the product increment plays a key role in this. At the end of every sprint, we hold the sprint review where the team presents the product increment to stakeholders. This allows for immediate inspection of the product and feedback is collected. After the sprint review, the feedback is used to adjust the product backlog. The next sprint may focus on new features or adjustments based on that feedback. This feedback loop ensures that the product continues to evolve in the right direction. Why is the product increment so important in Scrum? Let's go through it. Delivering incremental value. With each sprint, the team delivers working software. This allows for quick releases, continuous delivery, and regular feedback from customers. Transparency and feedback. The product increment is the visible product. Stakeholders can inspect it, offer feedback, and help guide its future development. Aligning with customer needs. Every sprint ends with a product increment that reflects customer priorities and ensures that development is always on track to deliver value. Now let's go over some best practices to ensure your product increment is high quality. Start small. Aim for small, focused increments. The smaller the feature, the quicker it can be delivered, tested, and adjusted. Maintain quality. Every increment must meet the definition of done. Never compromise quality. If the increment isn't finished, don't deliver it. Customer centric. Build features that add value for the customer. Even small features should solve real problems or improve the user experience. Integrate continuously. Regular integration and testing help avoid issues later on and ensure that the increment is always working. Following these best practices helps you ensure that each product increment is valuable and usable. Let's take a moment to look at some common pitfalls to avoid when creating a product increment. Incomplete increments. Sometimes teams rush to finish a feature, but they don't meet the definition of done. This results in incomplete functionality. Always ensure the increment is truly done before calling it complete. Overloading increments. Trying to fit too many features into one sprint can lead to poor quality. Focus on delivering a few high-quality features instead. Lack of stakeholder engagement. If stakeholders don't provide feedback during the sprint review, you may miss important insights. Regular stakeholder engagement is key. Avoiding these pitfalls ensures that your product increment is valuable, complete, and aligned with customer needs. To wrap up, here's a quick recap of the product increment. The product increment is the working version of the product delivered at the end of each sprint. It must meet the definition of done and be ready for release. The product increment allows us to deliver value incrementally and receive feedback from stakeholders. It's different from the MVP, which is the initial version of the product used to test assumptions. Best practices include delivering small, high-quality increments and maintaining stakeholder involvement. Watch out for pitfalls like incomplete work, overloading sprints, and neglecting feedback. That's it for this lesson on the product increment. I hope you now have a clear understanding of its role in Scrum and how to make it work for your team.